14-4 run with the complimentary plays over the past 13 days after yesterday's 2-0 sweep, as I give you winners on the 76ers and the Pelicans, and going to take a look at the games between Toronto and Washington and Indiana and Cleveland on today's video report. In terms of who has the big plays today, well, there's two of them. Shawn Michaels, who yesterday could not make it winning day number 9 in a row as he failed with the Houston Rockets, but today going for winning day number 8 out of 9 with yet another 100-dime NBA max wager release on game number 4 of the Washington-Toronto series. And just like the previous NBA max wager winners, which were Indiana on Friday night, New Orleans on Thursday night, Indiana again on Wednesday night, New Orleans on Tuesday night, Golden State on Monday night. You get the drift. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code HOOPS. And the other big featured play today would be Chris Jordan, who is got a double your wager 2,000 star NBA winner number 28 out of 41 is NBA first round mismatch of the year. Of course, it was just a week ago today. He had a 2,000 star double your wager winner on the Philadelphia 76ers in game 1 against the Miami Heat. And he's on a 33-15 run with top rated 1,000 star NBA releases. His normal top rated 1,000 star play. This play is twice as strong. $1 bettors with 1,000 star plays or higher going back to the 2006 season have made a little over $174,000, and with all his plays, no matter the rating, over the past 512 days, so we're talking a little over 14 months, they're up a little over 70 grand. You get that play for over half price off simply by using coupon code Chris. So let's talk about today's complimentary plays. I unfortunately was going for a 5th straight 15-dime best bet winner yesterday, and boy, did I get suckered into the wrong play with the Rockets. You know, I really thought Houston had found its recipe for success in game number 2. Instead, I ran into a buzzsaw with the Timberwolves yesterday, and I'll tell you what, I was very impressed with the way Minnesota played yesterday. Once again, the Rockets played no defense, but Minnesota, the veterans, came through. Great game by Derrick Rose, who has had a very good series, and Jimmy Butler, great game as well. The two former Chicago Bulls coming through for ex-Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau, and Karl Anthony Towns showed up after a slow start yesterday, and I'll tell you what, Rockets are going to have a tough way to win this series. Chris Paul played poorly again yesterday. James Harden played awful yesterday. You know, there you go. The Rockets, great regular season team. Come playoff time, are they going to fold like a cheap suit again? We shall see. Okay, let's talk about these games here today. Toronto and Washington. This is the game I like the most. I gave you the Washington Wizards in game number 2 of that series after giving you Toronto in games number 1 and 2. Of course, the Raptors pushed in game number 1 after mounting a late comeback in the final 6 minutes of that game to erase a 2-point deficit to win by 8, laying 8. And then in game number 2, they jumped out to the 23-point first quarter lead after taking a 10-point first quarter lead in game number 1 and coasted to the win. But in game number 3, I thought the key was Bradley Beal getting untracked, and that's exactly what happened. The Bradley Beal that was so dominant in the regular season meetings against the Raptors, the Bradley Beal who really carried the Wizards this regular season when John Wall was out. He came out, he was aggressive, he was deadly from the outside, and Beal and Wall carried the Wizards. But Marcin Gortat also showed up after practically being a no-show, and the box score was 0 points in 15 or 12 ineffective minutes in game number 3. Rather than going small and going with Mike Scott off the bench and giving him the primary minutes at the forward spot, going essentially with 3 forwards in game number 3, which Scott Brooks was tempted to do. Instead, he stuck with the center, and Gortat had a big game. And the Wizards bench outscored the Raptors bench, which is notable because Toronto, I think, memory serves me correct, had the 5th most productive scoring bench in the league this season. And we saw again a point that I continue to hammer home. Kyle Lowry just didn't play well offensively. And DeMar DeRozan was just average after that, setting a new career postseason high in game number 2. I like the Wizards here, playing with confidence to make this series 2-2 and pull off the win as the 2.5 point underdog in this game here today. So Washington is going to be the play. Now, Indiana. Hey, listen, I am grateful that I got the 15 dime best bet on the Pacers on Friday night. Down by 17, they rallied to win. Laying a point, they win by 2. No way I'm putting my money on Indiana tonight, okay? Because you don't get those type of breaks that often. But as I have said repeatedly in this series, the Pacers are not scared of LeBron and the Cavaliers. Yeah, LeBron's going to get his, and they are content letting LeBron get his. But do you have faith in the rest of the Cavaliers? Because all the big midseason trade acquisitions, they haven't produced. George Hill's back locked up on him in game number 3 after a great start. He was ineffective then down the stretch. Gee, George Hill injured again. Wow, what a surprise. Jordan Clarkson's been missing in action. Larry Nance has probably been their most consistent, productive player off the bench of the midseason acquisitions. Rodney Hood couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. Kevin Love, yes, he's been more productive as the series has progressed. But really what struck me in game number 3 was the Cavaliers came back and Victor Oladipo had just an average game, 18 points, his series low. Because the Cavaliers, much like the Pacers letting LeBron get his, well, they're focusing all their defensive efforts on stopping Oladipo. Darren Collison, a guy who just torched the Cavaliers during the regular season, hitting at a 70% clip. Miserable game number 1, came back in game number 2, miserable game number 3. I think he was 1 for 7 from the field. I think the Pacers can pull off the upset here again. Now, is it really an upset when you're a 1-point home dog? Not really, but I like the Pacers in this game. Listen, this is a Cleveland team that averaged 110 points during the regular season. A Cleveland team that's averaging about 90 through the first 3 games in this season, in this series, because the Pacers have done an outstanding job, again, letting LeBron get his and not really worrying about him because they're concentrating their defensive efforts on everybody else. Nate McMillan has outcoached Tyronn Lue 6 ways from Sunday. And on this Sunday night, I like, again, Indiana to pull the upset. Again, they're a 1-point underdog, so it's not really an upset. Of the 2 plays, I like the Wizards a little more, but I'm riding with the Pacers as well. So, Wizards and Pacers, your 2 complementary plays. I want to touch Boston-Milwaukee with a 10-foot pole, although I do think the Milwaukee Bucks could win this game, but just not a big fan favorite of that series. That'll do it. Wish you well. Talk to you again on